Hi, this is episode 1 of Painting and Photo Recipes that give you the art advantage. And I'm the author, Roslynn Eve, of The Art Advantage. And today we're going to be looking at the Mona Lisa. As you can see, we're going to be making changes to the left one, and the right one is going to stay the same. That way you can continuously compare the difference that it makes, the changes that we're making. Okay, so we're going to be covering some of the categories from my book, or at least getting into some of the categories of my book. And the first one would be color. Now, ingredients all by themselves are not very interesting. And we'll just show you that. There you go, we've got color all by itself. Even though it's interesting to the extent that it's intense and it's cheery, it's still just staring at that one color for a long period of time is not going to be as interesting and keep you wanting to look as when you have more areas of interest and more ingredients to make up the recipe, like the Mona Lisa on the right. Now, adding to color areas of interest, there you go, we've added more areas of interest to look at, and of course a main area of interest. And just by, changing things, not changing the color. We're just using one color and we're using areas of interest to make it more interesting. So now we're going to talk about adding color and using it with the Mona Lisa. And you can see that I've added makeup to her face. You can see we've got lipstick, we've got rouge, eyeshadow, and yes, eyelashes and eyebrows. Now, you're gonna, even though they say traditionally we want to look at the Mona Lisa smile, you're going to tend to want to look where the more colorful area is, because these are almost like very neutral. They're not pure colors and they're very neutral colors. So you're going to tend to want to look where the color is, but also where the light is. Notice the light in her eyes. I added some white. Now that's another category, which is light to dark. It's the light to dark range. In other words, all the way from black all the way to white, and that's what I mean by light to dark. Now I know I talk about things a little differently than you can be taught in school, but bear with me because there's reasons I use the ingredients like I do. Okay, so here we are, we're looking at color, and we're going to add, take that away for a moment, we're going to add just detail all by itself. Okay, notice here in the dress area, at the top edge of the dress, there's some trim there, but you don't really see it. So I made it more noticeable, but just as an ingredient by itself, it's not very exciting, right? So you're going to say, well, yeah, we've added the ingredient of detail. Well, that's exactly my point. If we don't mix our ingredients, then it's not as interesting. So let's look at what happens when we start mixing our ingredients. Okay, so now we're adding the color, we're adding the detail, and we're giving ourselves more areas of interest to look at. And as it stands right now on the left image, you'll notice that again you're still wanting to look at the eyes, because right now that's the lightest point. It's also the least quantity. You see, if there is a whole lot of dark, which there is, and a whole lot of middle shades of color, then you're going to be drawn to the smallest amount of light or dark. So if the majority is light, then you're going to be drawn to the dark, and vice versa. If it's all light, you're going to want to look at the dark spots. And it doesn't have to be full black, because look at here, this does not go all the way to the white. You see, look at the difference between white and what, how this is off-white, and it's really not that close at all to the white point. Okay, so you get my drift here on what I'm trying to say. And we're going to add a little more color. Now we've got a lot more to look at. It's making a lot more interest. We're going to go to the extreme now just to show you extremes of black and white. Remember, that's what I said. So there's the extreme of white. Now, doesn't that pop? You know, it really stands out, becomes extremely noticeable. And what happens when we carry it a little bit too far here? Well, now we're taking away, we're competing with what was the main area of interest here, the eyes, and we're now bringing the white into a larger mass or a larger quantity here. So we're now shifting where you want to look again. Now, also notice that over here, I never noticed till I did this video that she actually has a veil. And that's why these beads are all here. I added beads to the veil. See this little line going across here in this transparent area there where the veil is? This is a point I also would like to bring to your attention, because detail can, and color, can determine where you look in a painting, or also making something that was invisible more visible. Now it can work in reverse too. If you don't want that visible and you're putting all these interesting colors and dots on the vase, and now we want to look at the vase instead of the person, you see. So you have to watch what you're doing. This is the idea, is using the ingredients. You can use them for better or worse. There's a range. You can mesh them well with each other and support each other, or it can compete with each other, which we'll get into as well. Okay, so notice here I just added a little bit of face jewelry for fun, just to modernize her a little bit more. Now I want to go a little bit further here about the light dark, so let's take this back here. And as soon as we put in lipstick, okay, notice that it's not making a difference, because again, it's not light, it's not dark. So and it's not intense color either. Color will help. So let's do a little more color. See, now we're starting to get somewhere, right? As my parents would say, that's cooking with gas. And now if we take that a little bit more colorful yet. Now they actually wore this color a lot in my grandmother's day and age, and you can see it's made it very visible now. So that's, you know, again, controlling where you want to look. Now, if I would agree with them saying the Mona Lisa smiles where you want to look, well, we just supported that with the red and made it so. Okay, now let's take this one step further. Let's talk again about the light and dark. So we're going to make it more noticeable. Now we're using the light to make it more noticeable, that's the main area of interest. Now you can have many areas like we just showed you with all the beads and everything, but you know, if you want a main area of interest, you have to be careful to maintain that. Any changes to your ingredients can disrupt it. Okay, so you've got here the blackest, darkest, and lightest point together in the image. So now we've made it extra strong main area of interest by doing this. Okay, so I think we've covered a lot of some of the more basic points here and how it interacts. So when people talk about composition, they talk about all these things that they talk about. I take the view that everything affects everything. Like everything I did there, let's look at some of it again. You'll notice, okay, I didn't mean to put the dots in there. You'll notice that everything is affecting, every ingredient is meshing and creating a recipe with every other ingredient. When you just alter one thing, like I said, taking that one step further with the white there, you see it changes your whole focus of where you're paying attention. And it gives you all these, look at all these areas of interest, and you know, these areas of interest to look at. And has that not made it more exciting and interesting? Now, I'm not saying it's better or worse. Let me make that clear, because some people want a really nice, calm, peaceful piece of art to hang in their bedroom, because they don't need to be all excited with red or orange paintings in their bedroom when they're trying to go to sleep. You want your nice blue calm colors, or you want something that isn't going to, keep you awake. So it depends on the purpose. So I'm not judging whether this is better or not. I'm saying it's more exciting, it's more interesting, you've got more areas of interest. But again, it's the recipe that you like. Now, I do not get into what you're liking and what you're not liking. I'm a practical art analyst, meaning I look at, and this is what you guys are looking at here, we're looking at what we're actually seeing and what ingredients are there, how they interact, and what difference it makes. Okay, so this is what my book and all this is all about, is what is going into it and what difference is it making. Is it working together? Is it competing? You see. Okay, so we'll end the tutorial here. This is my book, just so you get an idea what it looks like. It is available on Amazon.com and Amazon.ca. My name again is Roslynn Eve, and this is the Art Advantage, and I've got 400 color photo examples, 265 pages. Took me 8 years to write. Anyway, so this is my book if you're interested in a copy. Thank you, and we'll see you again next time. If you like it, you can like it. If you'd like to subscribe, that would be great. Bye for now.